A shocking clue may have just changed everything we thought we knew about the man calling himself Cassius Phazon. We all saw the official reports and the frantic aftermath of the Spoon Island chaos. The WSB officially declared Cassius dead, conveniently pinning all of Ross Cullum's cold fusion crimes on him thanks to that highly classified secret deal Jocelyn Jacks made with WSB head Z. It seemed like the perfect, neat little bow to tie up a horrific storyline that nearly cost several people their lives. But we also know the hidden truth lurking beneath the surface. Z secretly recruited the presumed dead Cassius, keeping him alive in the shadows, while James West and Liesl Obrecht mourn his demise in Port Charles. At first glance, it looks like a standard WSB cover-up, a way to keep a dangerous asset off the grid and ready for future deployment. But something isn't adding up anymore. Why would Z, a man who calculates every single move with chilling precision, go to such extreme lengths to fake the death of a rogue mercenary, only to immediately recruit him back into the fold? I have been digging through the recent timeline, analyzing every single move this imposter made, and a new detail could expose the truth. We might be looking at the biggest, most devastating twist in recent General Hospital history, and it all centers around Ryan Paevey's highly anticipated return to the canvas. Let us look at a very specific detail, a pattern of behavior that has been staring us right in the face since this imposter first set foot in Port Charles. I am talking about the wild, inexplicable psychological swings of the man we knew as Cassius. Think about his actions, guys. 1 minute. This man is a cold, calculating operative, ruthless enough to hold Jocelyn Jacks and his own mother, Liesl Obrecht, hostage in a Windermere prison cell. He was dangerous, unfeeling, and completely aligned with the darkest elements of the criminal underworld, working alongside Jen Sidwell and Ross Cullum. He lied directly to Nina Reeves's face at the Metro Court, pretending he knew nothing about Liesl's disappearance while secretly knowing she was locked in a cage. But then, almost like a switch was flipped in his brain, he exhibited behaviors that completely contradicted his mercenary persona. Consider that heart-wrenching moment when he risked his own freedom, his very life, just to stay in town long enough to say a final goodbye to James West at the batting cages. He confided in Nina, showing genuine, profound fear of causing James any emotional pain. He had moments of intense vulnerability with Lulu Spencer, even providing her and Dante Falconeri with the crucial clue to find Rocco and Britt Westbourne in Tortola. Why would a hardened, secret twin brother who grew up completely separated from Nathan West suddenly develop such a desperate, protective love for Nathan's son? This was not just guilt. This was not just a mercenary growing a conscience. This was something much deeper, something primal fighting its way to the surface. That is the clue. That is the thread we need to pull to unravel this entire mystery. If we start connecting these dots, a terrifying picture begins to emerge from the shadows of the WSB's classified files. It may not be a coincidence that Cassius felt such an overwhelming magnetic pull toward Nathan's life, his son, and his family. If you ask me, we have been looking at this twin storyline from the completely wrong angle. Let us break it down logically. If this specific detail is true, if these moments of compassion were not just an act but genuine emotional bleed-through that could explain a lot about his erratic behavior, it explains why he could not just flee the country when Jen Sidwell explicitly offered him a way out with a handsome reward. It makes his desperate need to connect with James West incredibly suspicious for a man who supposedly had no prior emotional ties to the boy. Something feels off about the entire secret twin narrative. We are supposed to believe that Caesar Phazon had another son, hidden away for decades, who just happened to look exactly like Nathan, sound exactly like Nathan, and possess the exact same mannerisms when he wanted to. Let us look at Lulu Spencer's realization. Lulu deduced that he was an imposter because he pursued a romantic relationship with her instead of immediately rushing to reunite with Maxie Jones, which the real Nathan would have done. But what if that was by design? What if he was programmed to avoid Maxie because seeing her would completely shatter his false identity? The bigger question is, what if the WSB fabricated the entire existence of Cassius Phazon? What if Z is pulling the strings on a psychological operation so massive, so deeply invasive, that it fooled everyone in Port Charles, including the man himself? Guys, brace yourselves, because here is the big reveal theory that could turn General Hospital completely upside down, shattering everything we thought was absolute truth. There may be more to this story than a simple, convenient twin swap. What if Cassius Phazon never actually existed? I am proposing that the man we have been watching, the man who manipulated Lulu, the man who held Jocelyn hostage, and the man who just died on paper is actually Nathan West. Yes, you heard me right. Nathan West never died. He did not perish all those years ago. Instead, he was taken, stolen away in the dead of night, and subjected to the WSB's infamous, highly advanced memory mapping and mind control protocols. We know the WSB and the Cassidines have a long, dark history of brainwashing and memory manipulation. Just look at the nightmare they put Drew Kane and Jason Morgan through. What if Nathan was captured and systematically programmed to believe he was a ruthless mercenary named Cassius? This means there are not two different men sharing a face. There is only one man, Nathan West, trapped in a prison within his own mind, battling two forced psychological states. When the WSB programming is dominant, he is the deadly, unfeeling Cassius. But when the programming slips, when he looks into the innocent eyes of James West, or when he feels a surge of protective instinct over Britt and Rocco, the real Nathan fights his way to the surface. That's where things become interesting. The WSB didn't just fake Cassius's death to save a rogue agent. They faked it to retrieve and reset their broken psychological weapon. If this massive theory is true, the aftermath will be absolutely catastrophic for everyone involved in Port Charles. Think about what this means for Z's ultimate endgame. Z knows the truth. Z knows this is Nathan West, and by faking Cassius's death, Z has the perfect opportunity to wipe the slate clean and reboot the asset. I strongly suspect that Z is going to send this man back to Port Charles, not as the disgraced Cassius, but under his true identity, Nathan West. Why would Z do this? Because Z needs a secret weapon to investigate Jack Brennan. Brennan is currently a massive threat to the WSB, running his own shadow operations, desperately negotiating with Valentine Cassidine for a stolen black box to blackmail Drew Kane, and growing dangerously close to Nina Reeves. Z needs someone on the inside, someone Brennan would never suspect is acting as a WSB puppet. But what happens when Nathan returns to town? Who will be affected by this seismic shockwave? Who stands to lose everything? And who has been lying this entire time? Imagine the sheer devastation, the heartbreak, and the ultimate shock for Britt Westbourne and Liesl Obrecht. Britt is currently drowning in a sea of legal troubles, having just been extradited from Tortola and sitting in a jail cell facing kidnapping charges for Rocco Falconeri. Liesl just visited her in that very cell, furious over the secrets Britt kept regarding Cassius, while simultaneously mourning the death of the son she thought she just got back. If Nathan walks through those doors, Britt might be the very first person to look into his eyes and realize the truth. She will see past the programming. She will know that this isn't just a physical resemblance. This is her brother, alive but deeply scarred. Liesl might initially refuse to believe it, thinking it is another cruel, twisted WSB trick. How could a mother process the fact that her own son locked her in a Windermere dungeon? But if Nathan can prove memories that only he would know memories of their childhood, secrets only a mother and son share, Liesl will realize that her beloved Nathan never truly left her. The emotional fallout will be earth-shattering. They won't just be asking where he has been all these years. They will be asking what kind of monster turned him into Cassius. This could explain a lot about the strange dynamic between Liesl and the imposter, and it sets the stage for a redemption arc that will bring the entire town to its knees. But do not expect a happy family reunion right out of the gate, guys. If Nathan is still under Z's thumb, if that programming is still buried deep within his subconscious, he will not be returning as the shining hero of the PCPD. He will be a sleeper agent, a man walking a razor-thin tightrope between his restored identity and his WSB mission to take down Jack Brennan. we may be looking at the beginning of something huge. A storyline that will redefine loyalty, family, and survival in Port Charles. The truth could be closer than anyone realizes, hidden behind the classified files of the WSB and the manipulative, calculated smirk of Z. Port Charles thinks the nightmare of Ross Cullum and Cassius Faison is finally over, but someone may not be ready for what's coming next. The ghost of Nathan West is about to step out of the shadows, and when he does, the entire landscape of this town will shift forever. Keep your eyes peeled, question every motive, and trust no one, because the real investigation is just beginning.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.